Hey guys, John Crestani here. So in this video we're going to be going over important metrics. These are just important words and metrics to understand as you're doing marketing. Now, as you're working with the different ad networks that I suggest you work with, which is like, Facebook, Google, native ad networks, MGID, Rev Content, ContentNet, all these different networks, you're going to need to understand a few different, some different terminology and what these different words mean. So I'm going to go over those and explain them to you in this video. So hopefully you enjoy. Now the first word is impressions. So let's go over this. What impressions are how many times your ad has been seen. So essentially it's when your ad shows up somewhere. Nobody necessarily clicks it, nothing necessarily happens, but how many times your ad has been, or a better word has been shown, not necessarily seen. Now there's a couple different words within impressions, meaning you can have your ad seen below the fold. Below the fold means below what the first screen is on your computer. So if your screen is right here, if your ad showed up down here, it's called below the fold. The fold is, I don't know, the fold of your computer screen. Impressions is an important thing, and generally speaking, you're charged based on impressions. With native ad networks, with most native ad networks and with Facebook, you're charged based on the number of impressions your ad has been shown. Now the next important metric to understand is clicks. Clicks. What clicks are when somebody clicks on your ad, obviously. So very important metric, important to understand. Yeah, just when somebody clicks on your ad. No big deal to it. Google charges you based on when your ad is clicked on. So that's something important to know. So you don't have to pay for impressions. Google takes the risk and they just show your ad for free, but they only charge you when your ad has actually been clicked on. So just a little thing with Google is, with Google especially, you want to make sure your ad's being clicked on, or if your ad's not being clicked on, they won't even show it, if that makes sense, because they're losing money, they're losing opportunity cost every time they show your ad, but it's not clicked on. Then the last important metric to understand is conversions. And conversions in an ad network are when somebody takes a certain sort of action on your particular advertisement. Now generally what you do is you set what's called a conversion pixel. And a conversion pixel, it's usually it's a 1 pixel image. So the way computers work is they're divided. There's little dots, there's little light bulbs all over your computer screen. If you've ever been shopping for computer screens, you'll notice that they'll say the resolution. So it'll be 1920 by 1080 or something like that. And or you'll buy a TV and it'll say 1080p, which means 1,800 pixels per square inch or something like that. But that's how many little light bulbs there are. And each of these light bulbs, basically what you're doing is, a conversion pixel is a little dot, that's an image, and the ad networks such as Google or Facebook can tell when that image has been loaded. So when that image has been loaded, they say, oh, that's a conversion. And what you do is you place this little minuscule image on whatever the web page is. So on whatever the web page you want to say is a conversion. So if somebody ends up on a page after they purchase a product or after they take a certain action, that's considered a conversion. So let's say you want somebody to purchase a dog toy, and there's a page that appears after they successfully order a dog toy. It says, "Congratulations, thank you for ordering this dog toy. We're gonna ship it in 5 days." What you'll do is you'll place what's called a conversion pixel on that page. Now, you don't need to worry too much about that. Now, with your affiliate networks, you'll know what they will tell you if you actually made a sale or not. But if you want those sales to track back to your ad network, what you'll do is you'll place a conversion pixel from your ad network, whether that's Google or Facebook or MGID or Rev Content or Apple ads or Amazon ads, etc. And you'll be able to track whether that person actually ordered your product or not, okay? So these are the 3 main metrics in affiliate marketing. Now we want to know a few things within these that are important. So first off, you have your CPM. And what this is, what CPM means is cost per thousand impressions. So every 1,000 times your ad is shown, this is the cost. That's generally how impressions are billed. Generally speaking, an average cost per impression on an ad network might be $1, okay? Okay, so you'll pay $1 to show 1,000 impressions. Now your goal is, on Facebook you might pay, it's a little bit higher. So you might pay $50 per 1,000 impressions, okay? So that's the cost of your ad to be shown that many times. So obviously Facebook's a little bit expensive place to advertise, but again, you have so many targeting tools at your disposal, it makes it worthwhile. This is why people pay these high of CPMs, is because they can target people so micro-targeted, okay? Now another important thing to understand is it's called CTR. And what this represents, what this means is click through rate. So this is click-through rate, meaning what percentage of people click through, what percentage of people that see your ad actually click on your ad. So that's a really important metric because that obviously determines, because obviously you want people to go to your pre-sale page. So that's, getting people to your pre-sale page is the most important thing, because if people aren't engaging with your ad, it means your ad sucks, which means you can't do anything. Now, some quick ways, if your CTR is low, and a good CTR might be, let's just say rule of thumb, might be, let's say, anywhere from, if you're advertising on display, let's just say it's, good click-through rate is, let's say 1%. Okay? So 1% click-through rate. So if you show your ad 1,000 times, 10 people will click on it. Okay, so you spend $1, you get 10 clicks. So that'll be a fine click-through rate. Now again, if your click-through rate is too low, it means that your ad isn't good enough. If you're getting a subpar click-through rate, it means you have to use more catchy images or more catchy headlines, etc. So that's an important thing to look at and optimize. And that's something you can ask your ad network support. You can ask your ad network, send them a message and say, are my click-through rates normal? Is this above average or below average? These are good questions to be asking. Are you getting better clicks than normal or lower clicks than normal? Other things to understand are you paying a good CPM or can you spend less money per 1,000 impressions? Generally speaking, you want to pay as little as possible for your impressions, etc. Now within clicks, what you want to check out is there's another metric here called CPC, which is cost per click. Now, cost per click is obviously how much it costs to have a click. So generally speaking, it's, it can be a factor of, how many impressions you get. So if you're paying on an impression basis, in the example we said where you're paying $1 per 1,000 impressions and you get a 1% click-through rate, you are paying 10 cents per click, right? 1% of 1,000 is, if you pay 1% of 1,000 is 10 clicks, and $1 divided by 10 is 10 cents. So you're paying 10 cents per click in this scenario. Now, generally speaking, a good cost per click, it can range anywhere from maybe around $1 to, it can range from 10 cents up to maybe $1. So let's just, or up to even on Facebook, it might be $2. So let's just say 50 cents is a good cost per click, okay? $0.50. Now the next metric we want to talk about is conversion rate. It's called, or I'm going to abbreviate it CR. What conversion rate means is how many people that clicked on your pre-sale page actually took action and did something about it. How many people who clicked on your pre-sale page ended up buying the product you wanted, okay? So important metric, important number, because it's going to, that's ultimately what you want to have happen. You want people to end up buying something. So a good conversion rate is maybe, if, I would say, let's say 1% is a good conversion rate. I know that seems a bit low, but this is actually a good conversion rate. Generally speaking, you're going to clicks from your ad network. These are people that are going to click through to your remember, they're going through your pre-sale page, and then they have to do an additional click to get to the offer, okay? Because remember, people are going from ad to pre-sale to offer to purchase. So there's a whole funnel here. But generally speaking, 1% is a good, is a fine and dandy conversion rate. So beyond that, that's basically those are basically your metrics. You could go beyond that. You could say, cost per conversion, you could basically say, okay, how much does it cost you to get each conversion? And generally what people say that is it's cost And that means your cost per conversion. So let's just write that here. And let's just say, generally speaking, a good number for a cost per conversion is maybe 50 bucks. Now, given that, you guys have all these important metrics: impressions, clicks, conversions. Very simple. These are the important metrics for ad networks. And generally speaking, what you want is, if you're spending $50 for a conversion, the golden thing is you want to be making more than that. So if you've got an ad that works, if you're working on an ad that gets clicks, you're working on a pre-sale page and an offer that get conversions, if you're spending $50 per conversion and you're making, let's say, $100, you're in the money. You're spending 50 and you're making 100. And that's where the math comes in. All you care about really is this number being lower than the amount you're making on the actual sale of the product you're recommending. In the example of this, basically, once you've got this math down right, spend as much as you humanly want. And that's where going into scaling really comes into play. You can, if you're spending $50 to make 100, how many times would you do that? The answer is all darn day long. You want to do that as many times as you possibly can. And with affiliate marketing and with paid advertising, it's possible, which is why, and it not only is it possible, but it's so easy. It's literally just the touch of a button, or changing a budget from spending $100 a day to spending $1,000 a day. Changing a budget that's spending $1,000 a day to spending $10,000 a day. And that's where the math comes in. And if you spend $10,000 a day and you make $20,000, there's no difference. It takes no different amount of time on your part than if you're spending $100 a day. So that's it. That's how, this is the kind of complexities of how affiliate marketing works. It's important to know all of these different metrics. One thing I would, one little caveat I would throw in mind is, remember, there's another segment here which I'm not really adding in. If you're using a click tracking tool like Volume, you'll be tracking landing page clicks too. So landing page clicks, remember, this is clicks on your ad. You also want to track clicks on your landing page or your pre-sale page over to the offer. So you're tracking impressions, clicks on your ad, clicks on your pre-sale page, and then sales from your offer. That's basically all there is to it. Not much more that can be done here. And I hope you guys understand it. Let me know in the comments if this is over your head, or let me know if this makes sense. Or if you want me to go over any part of this a little more in depth. I'm trying to give you some rules of thumb here so you have an idea of where you are. And a lot of the optimization part, a lot of affiliate marketing and paid advertising, the most successful people have rules of thumb, is what I call, and you'll have an understanding when you're working on a particular ad network or a particular particular ad network or traffic source. Basically, are you paying too much on a CPM basis, or are you paying too little? Are your click-through rates normal? Are they high or are they low? Because if you know if they're high, maybe that's good. Maybe it's bad. Maybe it means that your click-through rates are, maybe it means that your ads are too clickbaity, but they don't have any intention behind them. They're not going to convert as well. If they're too low, it means you have to pick better images or headlines or ad copy to actually get people clicking on your ads. Now, in terms of clicks, if you're paying too much, too high of a cost per click, depending on how you're paying for ads, maybe it means your click-through rates aren't high enough. Maybe it means you're paying too much on your CPM bids. If your conversion rates aren't good enough, maybe it means your pre-sale pages are not very good at selling the offer, okay? So there's different, or maybe it means that your ad itself is not very, you know, it's very incongruent with what you're selling. Maybe you're doing a clickbaity ad, but you're not, you know, it's not congruent with the product you're trying to sell. Then conversions, obviously. So these are the different ways to understand these numbers. And as you start working with a particular ad network, you start getting ideas of what's normal, what's not, and you start understanding how to justify and optimize different spends or different, different tweaks you make. So I hope that helps. I look forward to you guys. Make sure you guys are being involved. Make sure you guys are launching ads and getting some stuff out there. Get on the weekly webinars, and I'll help you guys out with your advertising campaigns and everything you guys need. And I look forward to seeing you every Friday. Thanks.